Ready? Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in IoT land. This is Steve Brumer, partner at BH IoT Group, and your moderator for these executive series with my good friend Fabio from TagoIO. Good morning, Fabio. How are you?
I'm doing great, Steve. It's great to be here again.
Yes, you know, they can't get rid of us for some reason. We keep on doing these. I don't, you know.
Let's continue.
It's amazing when you and I started talking about doing these executive briefings. We'll do 2 or 3 of them and see what happens. And we just keep on going. So it's awesome. And that's only because we have some amazing guests that join us on these executive briefings. And today is no exception. Jeremy Prince is here, who heads the Sigfox worldwide conglomerate that you have down there. Welcome to the executive briefing.
Hi, Steve. Hi, Fabio. Thanks for having me, and I hope I'm not going to ruin the trend.
There's nothing you can ruin because we've never done a second take of these. These are all live, so you have no choice. But if you're going to mess it up, you got to do it live. So the one thing that we do here today is these are executive briefings are about education and making sure that everybody that is getting these, and listening to these things and watching these at a later date learns something from all of us that are involved in here, because we believe that education is still absolutely critical to the success of the IoT world, and that's something that we want to continue to do. So what we're going to do is have intros for everybody so you get a good feel for what's going on. I have, as usual, my list of questions for everybody so that we can continue to go through. As you know, if you're a consistent viewer of these executive briefings, you know these last about 20 minutes, so they're rapid fire. We get them out and get going and go from there. So Mr. Host, Fabio, why don't you go first? Tell us a little bit about Tago, if some of the listeners and watchers have never been on one of these or listened to us before. What's Tago? Who are you? What do you do? Tell us a little bit about the value add.
Yeah, sure. First, I'm calling from Raleigh, North Carolina, where you have a headquarters here, global headquarters. And I'm the co-founder and the CEO of Tago. What you have done is created a platform that allows developers, the company, to more easily build a very powerful solution on the IoT. So we need partners for that, for the hardware, for connectivity. That's why, for example, we're here today with Sigfox. So anyone can go online, create the account, and start building. So they don't need to go and all the details, all the servers and things. So we create pre-models so that they can build applications for different segments, smart cities, agriculture, industrial applications, connectivity, and so on. So that's basically what we do.
Excellent. Jeremy, for anybody that may have had their head in the IoT sand, tell us a little bit about Sigfox if they don't know what's going on.
Okay, so Sigfox, as you probably know, but some viewers might know, is a French, initially a French company created in France around 10 years ago. I would say, and I like to say, it was invented around one disruptive idea that was small can be beautiful, or less is more. And in a world where you're going towards more data, less latency, 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G, and see what comes after. The idea behind Sigfox is by using a simple and robust technology, you can already, with little data, achieve a lot in IoT. And that comes with huge benefits from the energy consumption, cost at all levels. Also the simple part of the technology. We like to say that we're plug and play and deploy and forget. And we've been rolling out our network across the world thanks to our Sigfox operators in every countries. And we are now in 76 countries with a great network of Sigfox operators. So we like to think ourselves as global at Sigfox level, but also local through our Sigfox operators in the countries, bringing the benefits of both. So it's a unique worldwide network, seamless, and for our customers, they're using the same network, the same price, wherever they are in the world. And I've already been too long if we're trying to.
It's just a long, it's a high elevator. It's all it was, a long elevator pitch. That's okay. So, and again, everybody, I'm Steve Brumer with BH IoT Group. We're an international advisory strategy, go-to-market consulting firm. We help companies with their monetization, commercialization strategies. So it's one thing to have disruptive technology. It's a different thing to try and figure out how to make money doing it. Yeah. And so we help with, we like geeks that have a hard time selling their stuff. And so we are working with companies around the world to bring those products and services to market. One of the things, Jeremy, that you bring up is you're in 76 different countries with these independent operators that are there. So if I'm a corporation, because you're a B2B focused organization, if I'm a company that's trying to figure out this IoT stuff and I've heard about Sigfox and I want to get more information and deployed, and I'm in the US, let's just say, because majority of the people that are watching this are from the US. What's the program?
Well, the easy way today is to use the website to start initiating contact with the team. Probably if you're in the US, you want to go through the Sigfox US operator. So simple website, sigfox.us, and there you'll get quite a good summary of the technology, the ecosystem, the use cases, and you'll be able to.
And I'm buying them from, and if I'm an end user, I'm buying them from you, right? I'm buying the Sigfox data from you. And I think I want to make sure I'm correct. The pricing that you provide me in the US is across the world, right? So if I pay a certain price for the data and I move to Brazil or I move to France, it's the same price, correct?
Exactly. So what is very unique about Sigfox? So first of all, I just want to mention that we don't manufacture devices at one end of the scope. And we're not doing the integration, the customer-friendly interface. That's Fabio that will be working on that and doing a great job of it. We are in the middle. The difference probably with many other technologies in the space is, although we're not at every stage, it's our own technology with our own patents. So if you're building a Sigfox device, you can do it free of charge, no license, but it still has to be controlled, approved, checked by Sigfox, and that's true all along the value chain. So I think your comment about being B2B is very, very true and very accurate. That is our positioning. We guarantee SLAs. We check that everything is compatible all along the line, but we don't charge for our patents and things like that. So in a way, we're proprietary, but economically, we're open. But then if you're a customer of Sigfox US, you're going to be charged for a subscription for your connectivity per device. And what is very unique also with Sigfox is if you choose to take, there are three options if you're in the US. It's either you take North America, and it will be America, Canada, Mexico, no politics involved, it's just geography.
Good idea.
You're going to pay, depending on the option, between on the amount of data and on the number of devices you connect, you're going to pay something like $14 per year to $1 per year. And if you want to add the whole of America, then you're just going to add a few extra cents. And if you want to add the whole of the world, you're going to add a few extra cents per year. And that means that you take away all the pains and aches of how do I build my model when I'm a company and I know that I'm Michelin, I've signed with Sigfox in France to track containers across the world. I don't mind where my container is from a technology point of view and from a pricing point of view. And I get my data exactly in the same great way, thanks to companies like Fabio's and thanks to Sigfox.
So he set you up, Fabio. So from a Tago standpoint and a platform standpoint, I'm assuming we're doing this because you're integrated to the Sigfox network. Tell us about your platform as it relates to Sigfox, the simplicity of using you and working with you if I'm a developer out there that wants to start to build applications.
Yeah, because when you see what the customer is looking for, the IoT, for sure, they need to have the sensor, right? They need to have a connectivity somehow, applications and the platform, okay, somehow, right? So you're right, we already integrate with Sigfox, 100% certified, get data, send back data to the sensor. So sometimes people forget about that. You can really control your devices securely. What I think that's really amazing with Sigfox, and I know that I have been talking with customers even yesterday, say, hey, we need to operate globally. How are you going to do that, right? So if you use the other technologies, it's a big challenge, right? And with Sigfox, that's a huge advantage. And we are global as well. We are more than 100 countries right now, okay? And the customers from us also want to have this benefit, right? Say, hey, I'm building devices here in Australia now and ship to the US. Of course, they need to certify that, but they know how to do that, but they can connect it. And here in the US, they're gonna work right away. Our platform is gonna work and the connectivity is gonna work. So being global for us is very important. Sometimes you talk with a customer and say, yeah, we are local. Yeah, we start local, but pretty soon you are going to go at least to Canada, Mexico. If you're from here, if in Europe, you're always global, at least you're in several countries. So having this integration for them, for us is fundamental.
And I'd add that our job, sorry, Steve, is to, and when I say our job, it's Fabio, it's Sigfox, is to make it simple for the customers. What they need is data that they can use in an effective way to transform the way they operate, to save money, etc. And we're there to deal with the aches of going into different countries, to having it looking good and accessing the data in the right way. And the other benefit of Sigfox is really it's plug and play. We manage the network. So if you set up your solution, once you've got your platform, everything's connected, you just need to turn on the device. No pairing, no IT team managing the network, etc. You just turn it on and it works.
Yeah, I think that's the simplicity is so important these days. I mean, it gets very complicated on that cellular side of the world, so you start to, when you look at that comparison. One of the things that you said in our pre-meeting that really is important is the environmental impact that these billions of IoT devices are having, and then your stand on a better world and how Sigfox is involved in the environmental aspects of it. Can you explain a little bit of that?
Yeah, of course, I'm happy to do so. I don't want to do greenwashing. Saying that we are where we want to be would be lying. But what I want to emphasize is that as an organization, we realize that having hundreds of millions of devices out in the world means hundreds of millions of batteries, of components, etc. And so far, when you look at that, no one cares. Okay.
Yeah, let's throw it away.
We do. And we believe it should be in the coming years a priority for us to enable our ecosystem. Once again, we don't build the devices, but we own the technology and the patent. So we need to invest time, money, resources in enabling our ecosystem to have the smallest potential environmental footprint with their devices. One day recyclable, even further down the road, probably some of them might be fully biodegradable. So I don't want to do greenwashing. I don't want to say we're there. Where we are today is we are lucky enough to have the most frugal technology. We use very little energy. The devices in our ecosystem are very simple. Our towers, I was mentioning that the other day. When you look at the Sigfox network, Christophe Fourtier, one of the founders and the inventor of technology, explained to me, made some calculations. One 5G tower uses more energy than the whole French Sigfox network. And at different levels, it's also true for devices. So I think we all collectively need to acknowledge that it's now that we need to think about it before they're all out.
I totally agree. I mean, and life cycle management has a lot to do with it too, right? So how are we going to continue to not only manage devices across the board, but look at the end of life? What are we doing with all these? I got asked yesterday, will we have a gray market for IoT devices and sensors, on networks? And I'm like, I'm going to be retired or dead by then. But besides that, it's an interesting question when it comes to the environment. I mean, when they're on the Tago platform, Tago's got a life cycle management capability of that device. Comes to end of life, what do? We change ownership? Do we sell that? Do we gray market? Do we refurbish things? We're too young in this area to be able to have really solid answers yet. But I think that we have to figure out that part.
One thing is certain is that we don't have an ecosystem that builds devices
Right.
a limited time purposely so that you have to buy another one. It's all about having the longest lifetime possible, and the batteries are sometimes 10 years or more, etc.
We want to keep the money ecosystem going, Jeremy. I get that completely. Speaking of that, Fabio, if I'm a developer, what can I come to you for? I know we talked about the idea that Tago can charge for data and bytes and including the platform and the mobile app and all the other pieces. Are you a one-stop shop for these people to get onto the Sigfox network?
Yes, that's for sure. Okay, again, because we are already connected with Sigfox, we are able, of course, to receive the data and process. And process for visualization, take decisions, take actions, and so on. So it's not only about putting a nice dashboard. That's important, okay? But how you do that and how you are going to share these with those that really need to get the information. So different from others where they have nice dashboard, we have nice dashboard, but also have the user management, organization management. So we have a customer that have like 10,000 users just under the same environment. So they don't need to create and get a new front-end developers, okay? And now, again, given that we're here with Sigfox, I think the match is great, right? So Jeremy comment a little bit about the cost, right? That's very effective. Probably he's gonna give a little bit more here, but get the sensor that send information, small package of data. And by the way, you can do a lot of things, right? We talk about this here in the past, right? But if you send like one time, 2-3 times a day, we have customers today that get the whole ecosystem, okay, mainly when it's connected with Sigfox for like 2 cents per device, okay, per month. So that's really close to zero, right? So we're not talking about customers paying dollars per device, okay? So I think this is a great fit, okay? You get a little bit data, looks like a little bit data, but you get so many sensors, you can take a lot of the decision.
Excellent. Jeremy, one of the questions I have for you is, what's keeping you up at night these days? What's the biggest challenges that you're having to deal with right now with Sigfox and its worldwide expansion and your ever-growing business?
I'll use the same joke I always use. The only thing that really keeps me awake at night is my
kids.
But
Good.
but to go back to your question, I think nothing really keeps me up at night. I think the thing that took longer than we thought is the IoT market taking off. Sigfox by design is for massive IoT. It's technology, it's pricing, etc. It's simplicity. It's for massive IoT. And as Fabio said, the more devices you connect, the more you can learn about your operations, etc., etc. It took more time. Now we can see that it's taking off, and we can see it because we can see the type of customers we're all engaging with. We can see the time to close a deal has shortened considerably. The average size of the deals has grown a lot. So I think I'm still fighting for customers to understand the value. And we're the first ones that probably, we were talking about pricing a few minutes ago. Fabio, I was, and we were explaining how inexpensive we are. But I think the real question is what it generates for the customers. And when you dig into the use cases, when they deploy their solution, they realize that if they invest one in the IoT solution, they're probably going to save, and I don't take those numbers for granted, and don't sue me if you're a customer, but they're probably going to save 2, 3, 4, 5, even more, because it changes the way you operate. It changes your needs in terms of inventory, changes the ETA accuracy, etc., etc. So I think what I'm really keen on is customers understanding even further the benefits we can collectively bring to them.
Fabio, in your business, what are you seeing as some of the biggest challenges coming at you from prospects, from clients? What are they most concerned about right now?
Yeah, I think it's very similar to what Jeremy said. That's the reality. Okay, there is initial cost investment, but that's easy to get, right? In one day, you get a very good cost estimation, right? You're going to know that if we're going to spend X $1,000 or $1 million, that's easy. It's about a strategy, right? I always say to customers, okay, to get the return of investment, because that's the main concern, right? Is that going to work? I'm going to bring a value, I'm going to reduce the cost, but probably you'll be much more than that. So it's important that they understand that they don't know things as they know when they create another IT project. When you have traditional IT manufacturer project, I'm talking about traditional, you need to know the number very well. You need to meet the number. When you go to IoT by nature, or digital transformation, okay, reality, things are going to change. The one thing that's very important, and we've seen customers about the change. We don't want it to change too much, too fast, right? Why? Because this creates cost. You need to train people. You need to change the procedure, even change how you reward people, and maybe you need to fire people, right? So, or hire more and pay more money. So there is a process for that. That's why sometimes what you do is, okay, we have this visualization, but let's keep the system as you have today, the front, the desk, dashboard, and behind the scenes, you do the job for you, right? So I think the main concern now is about understand how they can make money long term, because there are so many things that they can bring that sometimes they don't get. Okay, I will focus on this by now. So it is need for a little bit investment. That is our experience.
And I'm going to say, gentlemen, that the biggest challenges I'm still seeing out in the marketplace are a lack of education. We're still doing a pretty horrible job of educating channel partners, systems integrators, resellers, dealers, agents, and customers and vendors in our ecosystem. It's just kind of haphazard. We need to figure that part out. And I think the other part is a pet peeve that I've had is what we call the single throat to choke. Like, who is the company that will be responsible for the enterprises that we're selling to from end-to-end solution? Like, who is the one single call? I'm not necessarily I don't want to call Sigfox for a technical issue. I don't want to call Tago every time for a technical issue, or an app or a device manufacturer. There's got to be a way to be able to do systems integration work in a simpler, easier fashion. And I think we need to figure that part out in order for us to get to the gazillions of units, Jeremy, that you want to have on the Sigfox network. So I think that's it. All right, we're almost at the end of our time today. Tell us something that we don't know, Jeremy, about Sigfox. Tell us something that we could possibly be looking forward to as to why I should make no other decision but to go with Sigfox.
Well, a lot of the things that should drive that decision you already know, and we already discussed how unique it is, the global network, the simplicity, the fact that we manage everything. What direction are we continuing to go in? I would say, if you look at the trends at the moment, we've got some ongoing interesting experiments within the satellite industry, and that could be an interesting thing to follow. We're working with Eutelsat that is experimenting the Sigfox technology for its LEO satellites. And I think also it's all about not looking for new things all the time, but having a clear vision of where you're going and executing properly. And I think our positioning is pretty clear. Our sweet spots are pretty clear. Tracking, where is my asset? Monitoring, in what condition is my asset? Backup also, because we're robust, and robust includes secure technology. We're very difficult to jam compared to any other technology. And I could explain that for hours and probably make a fool of myself when you talk to my engineers. So we need to continue focusing on that. The problem with IoT, it's a problem on a customer side, as you said, on the integrator side, but also on the company's side quite often. You can do anything. So it's a bit like taking a kid in a candy store. You want to try everything. You need to focus. You need to focus. You need to execute. And I'm not that fond. You won't see me like some big American CEOs once a year announcing the new product, etc., to create the buzz. I think it's all about knowing where we're going and doing it properly.
Awesome. And Fabio, since you're the host, tell us something. Why should people be coming to Tago? Like, what are they getting out of dealing with you?
Yeah, one thing that we just did this week, we released a new page on the website. If you go to TagoIO, you can look now, there is a search there for templates. So we are deploying a lot of templates. We started doing by ourselves. So if there is a new system, for example, for parking lot, for temperature and other applications, so we are doing in a way that can give a kickstart, right? So, and we're not doing this alone. So one key things for us that we haven't seen, part of our success, really partnership, right? And that's, I give a lot of credit again for Sigfox. They have, Jeremy didn't mention, but I have to mention, the Sigfox partner page is great. These guys have a lot of partners, and I love it to go there and contact people. I personally do that. My team does that. And I think that's very important. So when people ask, hey, what we're doing, say, hey, take a look at the web page, take a look at our partners, because I know a little bit. Frankly, I think Jeremy know a little bit, but a little bit when you combine everything, right? So partnership program is very important. And we are doing that, and Sigfox has done that, and it helped a lot. So what you said, Steve, people needed to learn more about. We're not doing the best job, but there are good information out there.
Awesome. Excellent. Gentlemen, thank you. I knew this conversation was going to be excellent. So this was fantastic. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much for joining us, everybody out there. If you need more information, go to Tago.io, go to Sigfox to get information about your local needs in whatever country you're listening and watching us at. I'm Steve Brumer, BH IoT Group.com. If you need any help with your go-to-market strategies around IoT or education or training or any of those kinds of areas. So until our next executive briefing, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you soon. Have a great day.
Thank you very much.
Bye.